Today you've joined me on the river. I was supposed to be on the Fendon Drains today. I've literally come off the back of 2 days on this, been very quiet, very calm, not much being produced. So I thought I'd come down to the river, have a 24-hour session on here and give it a go and hopefully try and catch a few fish. Now the peg I'm fishing, I've never fished before. The river is recovering from the floods that we've had. We've had lots of rain and it's been very cold as well. So the conditions have been up and down and it has been affecting the catch results. So I'm hoping that with it being mild, it's been mild for the past 2 or 3 days. So I'm hoping that it might put something sort of in our favour and we can catch some pike. Now this particular swim, it's a very wide section of the river. There's loads of places to be putting these baits. You've got lovely reed lines and it's up and down, you've got snags. It's really nice. It looks good for a bite if I'm honest. It's nice and overcast, fairly mild. It's about 6 degrees and I'm just want to get the rods out now, get them set up and then get them cast down, start getting a feel for this swim, and then later on I'll set the bivvy up and whatnot, and then we'll do a night session. I'm going to be here till probably tomorrow morning, and at the moment it is 10:30, so I'm a little bit late. Like I said, I was going to fish the drains, but it didn't look much good for a bite if I'm honest. I wanted to come down to the river and give it a go on here. So right, so we're ready to be casting this first bait out. I'm covered in mud and reed lines and everything. It's a right mess down here, but I'll quickly show you the setup I'm using. Really simple running leisure setup, simple sardine, which is what I normally use on here, and hopefully we can get some big pike this particular session. So let's go for this margin. Well, it's literally like a mosh pit on it. It's very, very muddy, but if you've seen any of my other videos, most of the time when I catch the bigger pike, it's normally like this when you're recovering from the floods on the river. It's very mild, it's about probably 7-8 degrees, so weather-wise it's not too bad. And we haven't got much pull on the line, so I might get away with drop-off indicators. Normally on here, you'll see the line start to be pulled with the flow, and there's not much. I mean, they're running it off a bit, but that's not too bad. So we'll leave that one there. I might go a little bit further out with the next rod, so we'll set that one up and go from there. Right, and last but not least, every peg I've fished these past couple of sessions, it's all been on hills and muddy and not the best time of year to be fishing, but this is the stuff you've got to go through, and it's a very uncomfortable peg. That is the main reason why I'm actually fishing here. I can't see many people going through all this to try and catch a few fish. So, right, the plan of attack, third rod, far right hand rod. I'm going to go to this right hand side for a few hours and I'll just keep moving them around, see if we can pick anything up at all. But yeah, fairly deep there. That's the deepest area here. It looks like there's a bit of a gully here, so that shouldn't be too bad. So I've scoped pretty much all this out. I might go a little bit further out later on, test the water with one rod, but for now, I'm just going to keep it local in these margins, anything from 1 to 5-6 rod lengths out. See if we can get some big pike. I've actually changed a few things. I brought the rods a little bit closer in. The left-hand rod was quite far away, to be honest. I think I'd have been on my backside and slipping down this bank, so I've got them all down in this close margin now. I've set the bivvy up, so we're pretty much set to go. I'm going to do a recast in a minute, and hopefully we can get some fish. It is still quite cold, the water. I did a quick temperature check, and normally when it's like this, your bites are few and far between, if I'm honest. I mean, it is the sort of second week of January, so it is going to be always testing times, and then when we get to February it'll all start picking up again. But at the moment the river's not too bad. You can see all the banks where the water's been up. I mean, it's probably dropped, looking at it, probably 15 foot, something like that. It was up right up here where I'm standing now about a week ago. So when you're normally recovering from the floods on a river, that is when it's going to be difficult on any venue. The fish are going to be tucked away in the reed lines, covered in leeches, and then this mild weather hopefully will start getting them moving a little bit, and then any fish we catch, I can guarantee there'll be leeches all over the body of the fish. So, and that does affect the big pike. That's the only problem. When you've had really cold temperatures, lots of rain, river's been in flood. When it all starts to go down, the bigger pike take that a little bit longer, and hopefully there might be a few coming through. But I'm going to guess it's mainly going to be the smaller ones. I hope I'm wrong, and we do get a big one, because that's what we're always after, the bigger pike. But you just never know, and it's a new peg for me as well, so I'm excited to start roaming the baits around. We've got some nice reed lines, margins are nice, there's snags everywhere, so it's absolutely perfect for any pike to be held up, and if they do start moving, hopefully they'll be sort of tucked away in these areas. So I think now it's time for this first recast of the day, and then we'll go from there. Oh, yeah, fish on, fish on. Yeah, they can be really picky this time of year. Yeah, pike. That looks nice. Looks a fairly nice fish. Could be wrong, could be a small one. Not too bad. But very welcome, nonetheless. Very welcome. Right. Come on, mate, let's get you in. And it won't surprise me if he's absolutely covered in leeches everywhere. We've got you, mate. Oh, happy days. Right, so first one of the session, only a small one. It's a welcome size. It feels like forever since I caught a pike. I only caught a small one the other day down the drains, but it's a start, that's the main thing. I'm hoping that some more come through. So we'll get it back, and then I'll get that middle rod baited up, and then hopefully we can get some more. But we're not far away from the witching hour, it's about 3:30. So fingers crossed that we can get some more pike in the bag. You can't beat catching pike from a river. You really can't. You just never know what's around the corner. It can be a big pike, small one, or an absolute monster. Lovely. Well, we're coming up to the witching hour. It's about 3:45, and now is going to be probably my favourite time for getting amongst some of the pike. It's been a quiet day. The past few days that I did on the drains, if you've seen any of those videos, it has been fairly quiet, and it's all to do with the weather conditions. So I'm thinking, if we're lucky, a decent sized one. Failing that, it's going to be the odd small one just coming through. That last fish that we had not too long ago was absolutely covered in leeches everywhere, so they have been held up in different areas of the rivers, the drains, because obviously this river just goes on for miles and miles. I've only scratched the surface with the fish that I've shown on this channel, and because there's drains connected and they go on for miles in one way and miles in another, you never really know where the pike are, and you can only go on the results of what people are catching on a sort of weekly basis. Now, January is obviously the worst time for catching your pike. You might get the odd few like I have been doing in my past few sessions. That is generally what you're going to catch. Anything from a upper single to maybe a scraper double, that's normally the ones. If you're lucky and you get a decent sized one, then it's going to be, that's when the planets align, and that's what I'm hoping for. But these next few weeks is always going to be about just trying to get amongst some of the fish, find out where they are, where they're moving through, and how many's been caught. And most of the time in January, it's always the odd few here and there. So you just never know. You never know, and this is why we like fishing the rivers, because it's difficult fishing. When I say difficult, it's difficult to catch the bigger fish. You don't know a big fish being caught all the time. They're few and far between, probably a couple of seasons. And if you get lucky, like I have the past couple of years, you can get amongst them in a short space of time and catch quite a lot of the bigger fish. So, and that's normally when you'll see me fishing the same swim, same peg, and I'll just be hammering it session after session to get amongst the big ones, because it'll be a patrol route for them. And that's how normally you can get really lucky. So I think now it's time for a bit of evening food. The sun's slowly going down, it's overcast, it's mild, it looks perfect for a bite. So let's see how we go on. Oh, we've just had we've just had a knock on this left-hand rod. I don't know if it's debris or is it a fish? Oh, it went a little bit slow, didn't it? Might be debris. Oh, is it? I don't know. Oh, no, it's a pot. Nice pike. I'm surprised. That went really slow. Yeah, pike. Yeah, that's unreal, that is. Very surprised. Right, without me falling in, because it is an absolute nightmare on here. Oh, let's get this sorted. Oh, it's like an absolute mosh pit down here. Oh, he's got some energy. Here we go, here we go. Oh, go on, my son. It looks a nice looking fish, to be honest. Not too. That's not a bad looking pike. I don't know how big it is. I only just hooked in the scissors. Covered in leeches everywhere. Here we go. Oh, don't come off, please. Yeah, not a bad looking fish. Right, here we go, here we go. Come on, mate. Here we go, we've got you. Oh, a bit bigger than what I thought. Oh yeah, that is a nice looking pike. Look at that. That is a cracker. I knew it was going to be a decent size one when I seen it go in the net, but to be honest, this time of year I don't normally catch him this big. Normally you're catching the sort of mid doubles, but this is a clunker. For the river anyway, that is a beautiful pike. Look at that. Beautiful markings, not a blemish on it, and that is just what you want on these kind of sessions. I wasn't overly confident for catching a big pike, if I'm honest, but who am I to say what we will and won't catch? Right, darling. Look at the length of her. Such a beautiful fish. That's the one. Right, let's go for same place as always. As I mentioned before, the margins are the place to be for the bigger pike, so not too close in, but not. That's the one. Lovely. Right. We are ready to rock and roll. It's turned out to be a fairly nice session so far. 2 fish. No monsters, but very, very welcome. Right, if I catch anything else, we'll see it. If not, I'll see you in the morning. Well, we have come to the end of the session. It's 9:45, so I've stayed an extra hour longer than what I planned. I was hoping for maybe one fish to end the video, but most of the time, and I know it full well, it never happens. Once in a blue moon you might get one, but yeah, it's going to dip down now the temperatures. It's -1 at the moment. It's starting to freeze over a little bit, and also it's going to be -5 tonight. And I've been away for 3 days, which is normally the maximum time I like to spend away on the banks fishing. And I don't know if I can handle another cold night. I don't mind doing a few nights when it's -2, -4, but when it sort of dips down to -5 and you've been in it for a few days, it does get to you a little bit. And I'm running low on battery life anyway, so I don't know. I really don't. I'm going to see what happens. I might spend another few hours on here while I'm packing away, and if I get any fish or anything comes along, it might spur me to stay on. Other than that, then I'll just, I've got loads of editing to do and a lot of planning as well for different venues. So hopefully the weather picks up. With it, when it fluctuates, you might get the odd bonus fish like last night, but most of the time you're just catching the smaller ones, any singles or upper doubles. So yeah, I'm not sure. But I'll end the video here anyway. If you haven't seen any of the videos on this river that I've done, I've had some really nice big pike from here, then check this video out here.